New Fire Safety Director on-site examination August 2011. Fdny presenters Chief of Fire Prevention Thomas Jensen. Director of Licensing Stephen Trader. Captain for the Emergency Planning and Preparedness Group Joseph Evangelista. Public Safety Manager Frank Lindsay. Deputy Chief Inspector Fitzroy Benjamin. Introduction. This presentation is intended to educate candidates and help them prepare for the Fire Safety Director on-site examination. Why did we update the exam? The exam was updated to reflect the recent changes to the NYC Fire Code. History of FSD on-site exams. Local Law 5 of 1978 Test developed. June 2005 Office Test revised. May 2011 Hotel Test revised. September 2011 Merger of Office and Hotel Test. Item writing. The test writing panels consisted of representatives of various organizations including the Fdny, Fire Safety Directors Association, Hotel Association, Building Owners and Managers Association, and other private organizations. Validation. To ensure that the new examination is a valid measurement tool, we conducted validation, pilot testing. Validation of pilot. The examination was administered to 21 candidates at 19 different office buildings. Validation of pilot. The results from the validation tests were statistically analyzed and confirmed that this examination accurately measures a candidate's knowledge and practical ability to be a fire safety director. Types of responses. Mandatory actions that are most critical to the life and safety of building occupants. Important responses that are critical to the life and safety of building occupants. Required actions that must be taken during a fire or when a fire protection system is out of service. Optional actions that are not required, but are suggested. Types of responses. Mandatory. Omitting one mandatory response will result in a failing score. Important. Omitting two important response will result in a failing score. Required. Omitting required responses will result in a deduction of points. Optional. Extra credit will be given if an optional answer is stated. Points will not be deducted if an optional answer is omitted. Types of mandatory and important responses. There are two categories of mandatory and important questions, building-specific and generic. A building-specific mandatory question is where a practical demonstration will be required. If the demonstration of the mandatory parts of the examination is not performed correctly, you will not receive a passing score. A generic mandatory and important question is a task or action that must be explained as part of your answer to a question or scenario. If you do not state a mandatory response or two important responses, you will not receive a passing score. Generic mandatory and important responses. Know the location that you will conduct your business from. Check the alarm activation and other devices. Communication with fire safety staff. Ensure that the first responders have been alerted. Confirm the elevator status. Conduct movement of occupants on necessary floors. Ensure communication with appropriate floors. Ensure communication with all building occupants. Know how to reset the fire alarm system. In the event of a major building impairment, you must know the procedures available for safeguarding the building occupants. Building mandatory and important responses. Placing the fire alarm system on and offline. Making a PA announcement throughout the building, in the stairways, on individual floors, and acknowledging the signal at the fire alarm panel. Communicating with fire wardens or the fire brigade via floor phones. Silencing the fire tones throughout the building. Resetting the fire command center to receive a passing score. You must achieve a score of 70% or more on the examination without omitting any mandatory responses and no more than one important response. Average preparation time for the on-site test: 18 hours, reading the study guide. 38 hours, familiarizing themselves with the fire protection systems in the building. Recommended preparation time for the on-site test: 30 hours, reading the study guide. 50 hours, familiarizing themselves with the fire protection systems in the building. Exam difficulty: the exam was rated by candidates to be in between medium and hard, 2.5 on a scale of 3. Average test times: at least 3 hours depending upon the building and candidate. FSD course: if the Fire Safety Director course that you completed did not cover these topic areas, it is strongly recommended that you take a Fire Safety Director continuing education course on building operation, maintenance, and record keeping. For an updated list of schools offering the course, you may go to http://www.nyc.gov/html/fd_co_fund_study_co_renew.pdf on the internet. If you fail the examination fee will not be refunded. If you do not pass the examination after your second attempt, you will be required to repeat the 20-hour Fire Safety Director course and retake the written certificate of fitness examination. Results of Phase 2 validation offices: 9 passed out of 21 applicants. 42% of the candidates received a passing score. On current exam, 85% pass rate. Topic areas for the new FSD on-site exam: the duties and responsibilities of the Fire Safety Director, the duties and responsibilities of the Impairment Coordinator, knowledge of the building's fire safety plan, operation of the building's Fire Command Center, Phase 1 and Phase 2 elevator operation, firefighter service, effective training for fire brigade members and wardens, company certificates, commercial cooking systems, hot work operations, flame-resistant decorations, types of fire extinguishers, smoke detectors, fire department permits, requirements for the installation, inspection, and maintenance of fire protection equipment. Exam parts: the Fire Safety Director on-site examination contains the following parts: response to a fire emergency, training fire brigade, training floor warden, response to a building impairment, specific building knowledge, practical demonstration of the Fire Command Center, practical demonstration of Phase 1 and Phase 2 elevator operation, fire scenario, building scenario, percentage right during pilot. Categories: median score, building knowledge, fire safety plan, 81%, training wardens/brigade members, 61%, operation of the fire panel, mandatory, 97%, fire emergencies generic, mandatory, 86%, fire scenario, mandatory, 73%, building impairment, 71%, building scenario, 35%. Pull station activation instructions. Standardized written instructions will be provided by the Fdny examiner during on-site exam. New FSD remedial test, R58. If you are seeking to be certified in an additional building and fail the on-site test because you do not state critical life safety responses, by omitting one or more mandatory responses or two or more important responses, during the test, you will be required to appear for a hearing and/or take and pass a written remedial Fire Safety Director test, R58, before you will be permitted to schedule another on-site test. If lose the hearing or you fail the R58 test, your Fire Safety Director Certificate of Fitness S will be suspended and you will be required to repeat the 20-hour Fire Safety Director course, retake the written Certificate of Fitness examination, and retake an on-site test in any building that you want to be certified in. R58 Notice of Examination. Title: Remedial Fire Safety Director, R58. This test is only for candidates who currently hold one or more certificates of fitness for Fire Safety Director, F58, and who fail to correctly answer questions involving mandatory safety information during a practical, on-site, examination for certification at an additional work location. Exam Site: Fire Department Headquarters, 9 Metro Tech Center, Brooklyn, New York 11201. Purpose: applicants who hold a FSD COF who take a practical, on-site, examination in an additional work location and who fail to correctly answer questions involving mandatory safety information will be afforded the opportunity to demonstrate their fitness to retain their existing certificates of fitness at their current work locations by taking a remedial examination, R58. Qualification requirements. Only Fire Safety Directors who currently hold one or more certificates of fitness are eligible to take a R58 examination. R58 if you pass the R58 examination. If you pass the remedial examination within the time period allowed in the notice of failure, you may submit a request to retake the practical, on-site, examination for the work location for which you desire certification. If you fail the R58 examination. If you fail the remedial examination, all current certificates of fitness, at all locations, will be suspended pending successful completion of an approved Fire Safety Director course, passing the written Fire Safety Director Certificate of Fitness examination, Z50, and receiving a certificate of completion. You must also pass a practical, on-site, examination for certification at each work location. Release date: the first date of the new on-site exam will be September 19, 2011. Additional information. Information about the FSD on-site exam can be found on the Fire Department website indicated below. http://www.nyc.gov/html/fdny/c_of_f/cof.html. Test procedures. During the FSD on-site examination, you will be required to activate the building's fire alarm system, visual signals and audible tones. If your building's management prohibits you from activating the building's fire alarm system, the test will be terminated and you will receive a failing score. You will also be required to demonstrate Phase 1 and Phase 2. Elevator operation, firefighter service. If your building's management prohibits you from demonstrating Phase 1 and Phase 2 elevator operation, firefighter service, the test will be terminated and you will receive a failing score. You are required to secure the appropriate approvals from your building's management before the inspector arrives to administer the test. You must instruct building employees who are posted at or near the Fire Command Center to remain silent while you are answering questions or demonstrating how to operate your building's fire alarm panel. If any other person answers questions that you are required to answer, instructs you on how to operate the fire alarm panel or interferes with the test in any manner, you will not receive credit for those questions. New test procedures: candidates will be allowed to take notes while the inspector is reading information to them. During the following test sections: 1. Training section. 2. Fire scenario. 3. Building scenario. Candidates will also be permitted to write their answers before explaining them to the inspector. However, their score will be determined based solely on their verbal answers. Training module. Candidates are expected to prepare and demonstrate a detailed training session for fire brigade and fire wardens. You will be given 7 minutes per module before demonstrating the training session. Note-taking is allowed before the demonstration. Generic mandatory and important responses. Know the location that you will conduct your business from. Check the alarm activation and other devices. Communication with fire safety staff. Ensure that the first responders have been alerted. Confirm the elevator status. Conduct movement of occupants on necessary floors. Ensure communication with appropriate floors. Ensure communication with all building occupants. Know how to reset the fire alarm system. In the event of a major building impairment, you must know the procedures available for safeguarding the building occupants. Building mandatory and important responses. Placing the fire alarm system on and offline. Making a PA announcement throughout the building, in the stairways, on individual floors, and acknowledging the signal at the fire alarm panel. Communicating with fire wardens or the fire brigade via floor phones. Silencing the fire tones throughout the building. Resetting the fire command center. The duties and responsibilities of the fire safety director. 1. Be familiar with the written fire safety plan providing for fire drill and evacuation procedure in accordance with Fire Prevention Code. 2. Select qualified building service employees for a fire brigade and organize, train and supervise such fire brigade. 3. Be responsible for the availability and state of readiness of the fire brigade. 4. Conduct fire and evacuation drills. 5. Notify the owner or other persons having charge of the building when any designated individual is neglecting his responsibilities contained in the fire safety plan. The owner or other person in charge of the building shall bring the matter to the attention of the firm employing the individual. If the firm fails to correct the condition, the owner or person in charge of the building shall notify the fire department. 6. Building occupants should be trained to take precautions to prevent fires and make prompt notification to the building's FSD should they become aware of a fire or smoke condition. 7. In the event of a fire, shall report to the Fire Command Center to supervise, provide for and coordinate the duties and responsibilities of the Fire Safety Director. The Fire Safety Director, FSD, must supervise the fire safety and evacuation plan. The owner shall designate competent persons to act as FSP staff, train the FSP staff and conduct fire drills. Such persons shall possess such qualifications and/or hold such certificate of fitness. The owner shall ensure that adequate FSP staff is present on the premises during regular business hours, and at other times when the building is occupied, to perform the duties and responsibilities set forth in the Fire Safety and Evacuation Plan. Fire Safety Director, F58. The Fire Safety Director and Deputy Fire Safety Directors designated in the Fire Safety and Evacuation Plan shall hold a Fire Safety Director Certificate of Fitness, and shall have the following duties and responsibilities and such other duties and responsibilities as prescribed by rule. The duties and responsibilities of the Fire Safety Director. A. Ensure that the fire department has been notified of any fire or fire alarms. B. Manning of the fire command station. C. Direction of evacuating procedures in the fire safety plan. The duties and responsibilities of the Fire Safety Director. Once a fire alarm activates, the FSD must acknowledge the alarms that are received by the Fire Command Center, check the fire panel to see if other devices have activated, and send the fire brigade to investigate the cause of the alarm in a timely manner. The FSD must inform the building's occupants on the fire, alarm, floor above and floor below of the alarm. The FSD must be in constant communication with the fire brigade and floor wardens and direct the evacuation or relocation of the people on the fire floor and floor above, and floor below if appropriate, to at least 3 floors below the affected floors. If the fire alarm has activated on the 4th floor or a floor below the 4th floor, the occupants of those floors must be relocated to a designated assembly area outside of the building. To prevent additional danger to building occupant, the FSD must ensure that the elevators have been recalled to the lobby and that the heating, ventilating, and air conditioning (HVAC) systems have been shut off. The duties and responsibilities of the Fire Safety Director. The FSD must prepare for the arrival of the fire department, by ensuring that the lobby and/or building entrance is kept clear. Guests and visitors should be directed to leave the building or relocated to wait in another area of the building. The FSD should also arrange for a fire brigade member to meet the fire department upon their arrival and escort them to the fire command center. A building engineer should also be contacted and be available to assist the fire department. The duties and responsibilities of the Fire Safety Director. Upon the fire department's arrival, the FSD reports the conditions on the fire floor and other affected floors and advises the fire department chief in charge in the operation of the fire command center. The FSD must report the location of the fire smoke condition, or alarm activation to the Fdny and tell them the type the device that activated and the nature of the alarm, if known. The Fdny also be informed of the status of the stairways, the evacuation status, elevator status, HVAC system status, and the status of any fire protection impairments that are in the building. The FSD must also inform them of any situations in the building that might need their attention or affect their ability to respond to the situation. These situations include but are not limited to trapped occupants, a large number of additional people in the building, disabled person, injured occupants, etc. The duties and responsibilities of the Fire Safety Director. The FSD will be instructed by the fire department firefighting personnel to silence the alarm. The FSD should provide the fire department with a copy of the building's fire safety plan, building floor plans, master keys, and elevator keys. A fire brigade member should also be available to escort the fire department to the location of the fire or as close to the location as possible if dangerous conditions exist. A record of the incident must be maintained for the fire department. The fire alarm system should be reset before the fire department leaves, but only upon their instruction. The duties and responsibilities of the impairment coordinator. The building owner shall assign an impairment coordinator, IC, to comply with the requirements of the fire code. In the absence of a specific designee, the owner shall be considered the impairment coordinator. Impairment coordinator, the person responsible for ensuring that proper safety precautions are taken when a fire protection system is out of service. Fire protection systems include, but are not limited to, the fire command center and its components, standpipe systems and sprinkler systems. The duties and responsibilities of the impairment coordinator. The FSD certificate of fitness holder and the impairment coordinator shall be made aware of and authorize the placing of systems out of service. Note that in many buildings the FSD on duty will be assigned to be the impairment coordinator. When assigned as the impairment coordinator, the FSD will carry out all of the prescribed functions of the impairment coordinator. The duties and responsibilities of the impairment coordinator. Before a major building fire protection system is to be taken out of service for maintenance, repairs, etc., the impairment coordinator must ensure that a service tag is placed near the fire command center. The IC must also determine the extent and duration of the out-of-service condition, inspect the building and determine the increased risk of fire or danger to the building's occupants, and record all information in the logbook. Prior to taking the system out of service, the IC must notify the central station company, fire department borough dispatcher, the insurance carrier and the occupants in the affected areas. Appropriate recommendations must also be made to the building's management or owner. The duties and responsibilities of the impairment coordinator. The fire department borough dispatcher must be given a brief description and the extent of the out-of-service condition and be told that you are calling from a hotel. You must also tell them the area of the hotel that is affected by the out-of-service condition and the estimated time that the system is expected to be out of service. They should also be given your contact information in case they need additional information from you regarding the out-of-service condition. The duties and responsibilities of the impairment coordinator. Precautions must be taken to protect the occupants of the building when a major building fire protection system is out of service. These precautions include ensuring that a fire watch is conducted by qualified people holding a certificate of fitness for fire guard. In the event that there are no qualified people to conduct a fire watch, the building must be evacuated for the duration of the out-of-service condition. The duties and responsibilities of the impairment coordinator. Once an out-of-service condition has been corrected and the system is being restored to normal operation, the IC must conduct the necessary inspections and tests to verify that the system is operational, remove the service tags and record that the system is operational in the logbook. Notifications must also be made to the central station company, fire department borough dispatcher, the insurance carrier, the occupants in the affected areas, and to the building's management or owner.